Heading into the new season as A-League runners-up, usually the expectation for a club the size of Melbourne Victory is to go one better. But is that realistic this time around? Departures such as Daniel Ozani and Zinedine Mashash have proven to be a massive blow in the final third. Can Arthur Dillis prove that last season was no fluke and can continue the wave of momentum? In this video, we'll discuss the club's version of a rebuild and what it means for them moving forward. Victory is a club that's built its foundations on a win-at-all-cost mentality. It's what they pride themselves on. Multiple championships, silverware, you name it. They've been up there with the likes of Sydney FC, Melbourne City over years gone past. The fans expect nothing more but to win. So with 2 consecutive grand final appearances, it's safe to say that Victory have been up there. But can they stay there? That's the big question moving into this season. Now, they would have been disappointed to miss out on ACL2 qualification this time 12 months ago when they lost to Macarthur in the Australia Cup final at Amy Park. But despite the increased prize money offering an extra incentive for Australian clubs to perform in the ACL Elite and ACL2, perhaps it's a blessing in disguise that Victory aren't actually in the competition. This is a chance where you can look at it a half-glass-full approach. Yes, no Asian football is a bad thing in terms of financial costs, but at the same time, this could be a blessing in disguise, as mentioned before. If the transfer window closed a couple of weeks before the deadline, chances are there would have been a lot of nervous and worried Victory supporters out there thinking, okay, these acquisitions might not cut the mustard to be able to compete for finals or even better, a championship. That was because of the star outs, but as the last couple of weeks showed, that wasn't actually the case. Victory were able to acquire some talent, potentially not be able to fully replace those of the likes of Daniel Ozani and Zinedine Mashash, but they've actually improved their depth, and that could be a real asset for Arthur Dillis moving forward. In terms of the overall squad, let's turn to Juan Mata first in the front line. Obviously, this is a player who divided opinion when he came into the A-League. This is someone who, yes, with his experience, winning World Cups, Champions League titles, playing in the Premier League, he puts bumps on seats, he attracts a crowd, he attracts interest. But at his time at the Wanderers in his stint, Alan Stajic clearly, he didn't put Mata as part of his plans, whether that was for fitness reasons, for tactical reasons. He just didn't fit the system. And Arthur Dillis could be a manager who, quite frankly, could actually mould him into this Victory side and prove to be a very valuable asset moving forward into this season. Whether he makes 20 to 30 minute cameo appearances or starts every game is yet to be seen, but this could be a valuable piece considering the loss of Zinedine Mashash in that creative number 10 role. Then you move to the midfield, you got Louis Diorigo to potentially partner Jordi Veladon with the loss of Ryan Teague. Then you've got Jean Rao, who could also be in contention to play alongside Veladon in that role. So again, there's depth, there's competition for Victory to be able to bring people off the bench, to have that depth moving forward in one competition as previously stated. That can only be a good thing. The acquisitions of Jason Davidson, who used to be a Victory boy himself, and Sebastian Esposito, a bright young prospect in the centre-back position, could prove to be a big boost for Arthur Dillis with more defensive options. Could they move to a back three, given what happened against Auckland in that semi-final? The point is, Dillis has options moving forward, like Sir Franco Lino, who also used to play for Victory. These are players who know what it means to play for the club. They understand the system well. Last season, Dillis preferred a 4-2-3-1 formation, prioritising the one box-to-box midfielder, whether in that case it would have been Jordi Veladon or Ryan Teague. Their chemistry, their partnership was perfect. They knew exactly where to go, whether one to drop, one to sit, one to move forward, when to control possession. Advancing the ball into the final third, it takes time. It's a sense of calmness, a sense of patience about Arthur Dillis' football, and that was frustrating for some fans last season, where they wanted to see the ball moving quicker to the final third. You had the likes of Ozani there who could create moments of brilliance. Now this season you've got Santos on the wing, Matthew Grimaldi, a new signing. This season it's all about how can they progress the ball forward more effectively, and can they do it with a bit more pace and a bit more substance to it? Could a 3-man backline work? As mentioned before, we saw Arthur Dillis adopt that type of formation, playing the 3 at the back against Auckland in that semi-final, which is obviously successful as they conquered Auckland to reach that grand final. My 3 key players for Victory heading into this season is Jordi Veladon, Nishan Velupile and Sebastian Esposito. There's no beating around the bush. The loss of Ryan Teague is going to be a massive blow and a sting in the tail. That means that the pressure is going to be more on Jordi Veladon's shoulders to carry that mantle, to be that leader in the midfield. He's shown it before. He just needs to do it without Ryan Teague. Surprisingly, the 22-year-old wasn't picked up overseas, but for Victory, they won't be complaining at all. You see, Veladon is an extremely intelligent footballer. He knows when to sit deep, he knows when to push forward. He just understands the game to a T, and for someone so young, that is just a priceless asset to have. When 20-year-old Sebastian Esposito arrived on loan in the off-season, There are a lot of question marks, a lot of confused faces, basically asking, does this move make sense? I mean, this is a kid, yes, albeit has a bright future ahead of him. He captained the Australia under-20s to maiden Asian Cup glory. He captained Lecce's Primavera youth side. In terms of the actual deal itself, doesn't make sense because it's a one-year loan, no option to buy. Regardless of what you think of the signing, Esposito provides a sense of calmness on the ball, playing out from the back. He's got that defensive nous, that typical Italian-style defender, having spent some time at Lecce. This is someone who can provide a bit more pace in that defensive line. After another strong start to the season 12 months ago, which included 5 goals in his first 3 matches at Australia Cup level, for Nishan Velupillay, it's never been a question about his talent or his desire, his willingness to win. He's got all those attributes. That's clear for all to see. But for fans, it's always been a question about, can he remain consistent week in, week out? Can he keep producing those same types of quality performances? And to his credit, he responded to those critics quite well. He recorded 21 goal contributions, his best season to date. He was effective, efficient, clinical in front of goal. He was reliable, and that's what was missing in his game. Again, heading into this season, this is going to be massive for him. Can he continue that wave of momentum? Only time will tell. Luca College is a name you might not be too familiar with, but this is a Melbourne Victory Academy product who's been with the club for the past couple of seasons. He could be someone who could burst onto the scene, especially given the departure of Ryan Teague. The 20-year-old, who made 27 appearances across his 2 seasons in the state leagues, is someone who can provide a more physical presence, a box-to-box type player, a real eye for goal. Someone who can provide that bit of lacking X factor potentially off the bench. You only have to look at his goal against Dandenong Thunder, that freakish Rabona goal that made you stand back and think, wow, this kid is special. Now to the manager, where, let's face it, Arthur Dillis experienced quite the crazy ride last season when he was forced to fill in for Patrick Kisnorbo under unforeseen circumstances. Kisnorbo departed for Japan, and it left Dillis to fill the void as interim coach. Dillis was short of experience as a first-team manager. It was his first time coaching at senior level. So when he went winless in his first 6 games, the pressure obviously heightened. Uproar from the fans, questions left, right and centre. Was this the right man to lead this club to the future, let alone to stabilise the club for the rest of the season? But after that terrible stretch of form, a sense of team unity really bonded the side, and you saw that effect from Arthur Dillis translating to the players, and you got that first glimpse that Dillis is actually cut out to be a first-team manager at this level. In actual fact, as the season progressed, Dillis proved that he could be flexible in his formations. We mentioned before, reverting to the 3-man backline against Auckland in that semi-final win. That win really epitomised what Arthur Dillis is all about as a coach. Uniting a group, really bonding them together. So many challenges that they had to face, the amount of adversity they had to overcome, whether it be Velupillay going down injured in the first half of that second leg, Brandon Hamill being unavailable for the second leg, having to travel to Auckland to play in front of a packed-out Go Media Stadium. Everything was just going against the script, but somehow, some way, they managed to just find an extra gear, and all credit goes to Dillis. At a minimum, the expectation is to reach finals football. In saying that, a club like Victory can't just accept mediocrity. That's just not in the DNA of this Melbourne Victory side, whether you like it or not. But that's where the big challenge lies ahead for this Victory outfit. Can they successfully distinguish between a rebuild and still being competitive? Can they do both? Is that even a possibility? Those questions won't be answered until a few games into the season at best. But rest assured, Dillis has the full backing of the board. He's got a full pre-season to work with now, with a new set of players and the old guard from last campaign. Victory fans will just be hoping that there's a clause in his contract to prevent him from jumping ship after 7 rounds.
If you liked this preview, then here is the playlist for all 12 of our A-League men's team previews for the upcoming season, available early for our YouTube channel members.